GM people, it is currently 17 minutes past 10 p.m. UK time. Welcome to another amazing episode of Technically Speaking. Oh my God, we've got Caesar in the house, my boy from Birmingham. Let's go. It's all family in here. Every single Sunday, 10 p.m. UK till 11 p.m. UK, we host this free weekly webinar covering everything macro, stocks, crypto, etc. I recommend that you come live. Click the link in the Blockchain.Sensei IG bio to come live. The reason why I recommend that you come live and not just watch the replays is because we do a lot of stuff on this show before and after recordings, which would be totally inappropriate to share for a YouTube replay audience. Before getting started, I would like to iterate that nothing in this video is financial advice. I do not intend to be perceived or received as a financial advisor. If you are looking for financial or legal advice or such services, please get in touch with me. Caesar, sorry, I'm just going to mute you. I'm going to mute everyone, but unmute yourself and ask me any question or raise your hand or say something in the comments, and I will stay vigilant to reply. Think you need to mute one of your phones, G. Yeah. So not a financial advisor. Blockchain Sensei. We're gonna start talking about this. We'll do like a statement online, but just to kind of cover it. Our president, Blockchain Sensei, is not a company, so we are a decentralized ecosystem of avid crypto nerds and people who just like the market. So nothing in this video is financial advice. Nothing in this video is any indication of anybody's personal net worth, right? Don't just believe people online. There's people online who drive Lambos on Instagram, but they are in debt. Don't believe anyone. I want to push everyone to go believe in themselves. Believe in yourself that you have the ability to extract information from multiple data sources, including but not limited to myself, including, this is why I say but not limited. The best AI, in my opinion, is Grok. I don't get paid to say that. Go to Grok every single day. That's the X Twitter AI, and ask it questions. I go to Grok every single day and I ask Grok what your macro consensus is. I literally tell Grok, I've been asleep for 8 hours. What's happening in the markets? What's happening in geopolitics? What's happening in stocks? What's happening in crypto? So I want to start off with a consensus. I said at the end of the Sunday call last week that the move that I chose to make between, the consensus between me and my friends is to sell off into cash. And I said I expect 1 out of 2, so mainly USDC by cash. Mainly 1 out of 2 scenarios is going to happen, right? So scenario 1 would be a sell the news event, and then scenario 2 would be a bull trap. Now, who here can tell me what a bull trap is? If anybody's feeling confident.
Yo, Ninja.
Wagwan, Caesar. How
What
you
are you
doing, my
saying?
friend?
Chilling, chilling. Just finished work. I thought, yeah, let me lock in. Uh, Bull Trap. I think is that something where they try and engage you in by saying X, Y, Z is gonna happen, and then they just basically get you stuck in there, and it's not what's meant to happen, basically.
You
And
know
then
what?
you're basically at the
You're
bottom
on,
again.
you're on the right path. That's not quite the definition I'm looking for. Would anybody like to expand to Caesar what a bull trap is? And I'm also going to teach you guys about a bear trap. But any of the homies here want to give a go at what a bull trap is?
Or is it something that keeps climbing, climbing? You get excited, you don't cash out, and then you're stuck. I don't know,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. You know what? You're on the right track, right? So bullish means up, bearish means down.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
bull trap is where the market goes up to entice people to buy, and then it traps them and then takes a sharp pullback. And a bear trap is where the market is going down, encouraging everyone to sell off. It reaches the bottom and then spikes up quickly. So I said 1 out of 2 scenarios are going to happen. Either it's going to be a sell the news event. For those that aren't tapped in, on Wednesday the 17th, a very important event happened and interest rates were finally cut. We've been waiting for interest rates, that's interest on loans and credit, for American consumers, because remember, America runs the world. What happens in America has a spill on the rest of the world, especially financial markets, right? Remember that nearly 50% of all the world's money is in US dollars, but 70% plus of global equity, so stocks, risk on assets, is in US companies, right? Most people can't name 10 European stocks or 10 Chinese stocks. I can't. I can't name you 10 African stocks at the top of my head. I can't name you 10 American stocks. Sorry, I can't name you 10 African or 10 Chinese, and I'd struggle to do 10 European at the top of my head. But 10 American stocks, easy. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, right? It's easy. Netflix.
Uber.
So, yeah, Uber, exactly, right? So, we've been, typically, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. However, part two to this wisdom, right? It's not always. It can be buy the rumor and buy the news and just keep buying the rumor and buying the news, right? That does happen as well. But typically, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. But part two is it's usually either sell the news straight away or sell the news after a bull trap. Now, as I went through one high level tweet in I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, it was something along the lines of price dimension, right? There's many dimensions of price. There's volatility, there is velocity, so how quickly things go, the range of the up and down, and the time, right? Different variables of price. Now, much like if you do a leverage trade, right? If you guys do forex or you guys do options, there's a stop loss, right? I typically make at least 2 predictions. One way that I can help you guys the most is if you come up with what you think is going to happen and what you think is going to happen if the first thing doesn't happen. Too many people are caught up with just one idea. I like to have a minimum of 2 ideas, preferably 3 ideas. I only have 2 ideas for between now and Friday, the 3rd of October. Why? Because the third Tuesday, is it Monday or a Tuesday? Because the start of that week is the quarter close, right? I forget if there's 30 or 31 days in September. Let me double check that. Yeah, Tuesday the 30th of September is the quarter close. Try to look at life and the markets in the perspective of big money, which is quarter closes. 31st of March, 31st of June, 31st of September, and 31st of December, right? So, and the best thing I can do with you guys is try to make you guys think in the eyes of big money. Because if you can think in the eyes and headspace of big money and start treating your capital, right, like asset managers treat billions of dollars, you will be way more profitable in the long term. And then you can create other systems where, let's say, for example, you take 10% of your long-term profits and then put that in degenerate stuff, right, like penny stocks and meme coins. I will talk about risk on for a second, but one of the best things I can help you guys do as fellow, I guess you could say fellow smart retail. So we are retail, but assuming everyone here is out of the 93%, 93% of retail are people who enter the market and lose money. Although 93% of retail lose money, the majority of the market is retail. The majority of the market is not the whales. The institutions do not have more net worth than most of the poor working and middle class. The poor working and middle class have the majority of the liquidity pool in the world, but they don't make good decisions. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? But we want to be in the mindsets of the rich. So I say all this elongated reasoning to come up with these 2 scenarios. I believe that we are going to get, obviously the first thing didn't really play out, which is the market sell-off. So let's have a look, right? Let's have a look like S&P 500, Bitcoin. Just give me a second. So the S&P 500, it's really hard to judge very short-term price action when such a major catalyst such as dropping interest rates. Yeah, so interest rates have just been dropped. The S&P took a little bit of a pump, right? Now, what is my reasoning for the S&P 500 pulling back? 1 second. Okay. Well, this right here usually signals an imbalance in price. To be fair, that's not a report. Oh, sorry, I'm going crazy. I remember spotting something, and yes, here we are, right there. Gap in the S&P 500 at 64177, which is 3.85% pullback, and then, sorry guys, I should have been a little bit more prepared for the stream. I just jumped off at a coin call. This gap here in the S&P 500, if this were to be filled, and typically gaps are filled, yeah, we get a 6% correction, right? Now, what would that mean for something like Bitcoin? If this, well, this definitely looks like a bearish pattern. Look what happened here. We had a pump into the news, and then now we're getting the sell-off. Where do I think Bitcoin will go down to? Well, I actually have a bias, and I'm going to break the rules for you guys because I don't think more than 100 people watch this stream. So I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it. Fuck it. Who even watches these streams, right? I'm sure Andrew Tate doesn't care much about me. Okay, I'm going to log into my real world subscription. I don't get paid to say this, but I do believe that this is the greatest digital product in the world. It's like $50 a month or something. Anyway, I'm going to wait until, sorry, I got slightly slow internet in this Airbnb, but I'm going to wait until this loads, and I will show you some heat maps from Professor Russel, who I listen to on a daily basis. And basically, heat maps indicate pullback. Now, what is the reason why markets pull back or rise sharply? Think about it from an exchange's perspective, right? So, exchanges make money from fees being taken, right? Exchanges make money every time you buy or sell, doesn't matter if you're in profit. And when you apply leverage, and the more euphoric the market is, the more longs, right? And people start whacking on 50x leverage, 100x leverage, etc. The bigger the leverage, the more the fee is for the trade. For those that have never taken a leverage trade before, it's basically where you bet on the price of an asset going up and down by 10x, 5x, or whatever. Every second that trade exists, a fee is charged by the broker to the user. Now, imagine we're in a world where interest rates have just been cut, everything's bullish, S&P 500's, gone up, Nasdaq has gone up. I mean, crypto seems like it's cooling off, but all these tech stocks all-time high. So what are people? So what is retail doing? Piling in, yeah, and shooting up their leverage. Wouldn't it be funny if the exchanges all talked to each other and said, "Well, there's a couple $1 billion here on the line. Let's liquidate everyone. Let's liquidate everyone before we go to the races." So where do I think Bitcoin will go? I think Bitcoin will reset to at least $110,000. I think the lowest we can go is $107,000. We ranged in this price in late August, early September, and understand that if you ran the world, right, and we're now going through more quantitative easing and money printing, would it not be in your favor to short Bitcoin down to here, and then with trillions of dollars guarantee quick 15%, right? That's what I think. Now, if by the 3rd of October, Friday the 3rd of October, we do not get the pullback that I anticipated, then from Monday the 6th, I wouldn't be against being extremely exposed to the market. Now, people have different definitions of what extremely exposed is. To me, extremely exposed in the market is when you are 80% allocated. I know that most retail, not most, a large proportion of retail investors do not like holding GBP in their trading 212 account or USDC in their portfolios, right? But cash is absolutely king in this game. Let me tell you why cash is king. Let's say, for example, you started a portfolio with $1,000 in January, and you bought and sold, and you bought and sold, and you bought and sold, and you took some losses, and you made some gains, you took some losses, and then you ended the year with 1,000. Let's call it $1,020. So you literally made 2% in a year, right? You started with USDC, and then you ended with USDC, right? Or you had 10 grand and you ended the year with 10.2. Are you aware that you've outperformed 93% of retail just by breaking even or being in slight profit? I'm so passionate about this. Most people who ever enter the market leave in a loss in the lifetime that they participate in the market. I guess you could say if you never give up, then eventually you're profitable. But I want you guys to say, I want to save you guys from a lot of anguish and pain, right? Look, let's have a look at the Bitcoin. Let's just have a look at Bitcoin basic technical analysis. We have we have the beginning of a downtrend on the daily. Okay. The RSI has just crossed below the yellow. It has just crossed on the daily. On the 12 hours, it has clearly crossed. On the MACD, we have a bearish divergence here and here. And the DMI is also showing bearish. Right? Now, does this mean there is nothing to buy in the market? No. Because, and I studied this, and you can study this for yourself, in times when there is a bull trap, in times where there is a bull trap, often retail, because retail is greedy and euphoric, will instead, so they're seeing the majors rise, the majors in crypto being Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, right? Even though they're kind of taking a pullback now, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, they took a rise after what do you call it? After interest rates for a short period of time. It's like Thursday and Friday. Now they're selling off, right? But yeah, retail will so it'll be like good news, and it's usually sell the news, right? So they're already buying the news, and then it'll be a bull trap. The market's going up, and then retail start thinking, well, instead of buying the big stocks, I'm gonna buy these stocks, right? Or these cryptos, like your shitters. Your shitters are slide down, and then when the market sells off, right? The majors sell off. Retail gets scared and sell their miners, so their altcoins, their meme coins, in a loss. But guess what? That's when a lot of the meme coins and alts rise. So actually, even though I'm very short, I'm very short-term bearish, and I'm willing to be invalidated in 2 weeks if by Friday the 3rd we don't get a flush out. If we get a flush out in like mid-October, then so be it. I will just eat the drawdown, because you can't just twiddle your thumbs and be on the sideline forever, right? You need to know when to turn on that risk. But I'm absolutely confident that we're going to close this quarter bullish. For example here, right? Coinbase to me is in a very clear uptrend. Like, guys, one sec. Who we got in the room? We've got Salman and we've got Toby. I've told you guys enough about RSI and MACD and DMI. What are the technicals showing you here on Coinbase?
We see a
Bullish
bearish exhaustion.
bearish
Sorry, say that
exhaustion.
again. Yeah. Bearish exhaustion. And look, we're just having a pace here. So yeah, you could buy Coinbase, because this is still a mid cap stock. The S&P 500 can go down. Yeah, Nasdaq can go down, Nvidia can go down, and Coinbase can go up. Right? This can happen. if the down of the S&P 500 and the down of the Nasdaq and the down of Nvidia are merely pullbacks in an uptrend. Does that make sense? So it's not like there's nothing to buy, but I'm just cautious right now. Okay, so what is some huge macro technical updates? The Russell 2000 has just broke the November 2021 high. We have finally pierced this high. What is the Russell 2000? This is the stock market version of meme coins. And typically, when this breaks all-time high, the last time it broke all-time high was the end of 2020, which signaled the 2021 bull market. Look, we triple topped here. September 2018, basically the end of 2018, this was a whole bull market. And please go home and study these things, these dates, right? In the time that the Russell 2000 went from here to here, yeah, Bitcoin went from about 1K to 20K. I've lived through this, right? We go through a bear market. This is pre-COVID. Everything's doing well. People thinking that the Russell's going to break, but no, we have the COVID crash. And then once we break the high, this is when euphoria begins, right? This is where Bitcoin in this time goes from, I think, around 3K to 60K, right? The start of 2020 to, sorry, the end of 2020 to the end of 2021. Now, we have been in this range for a long time. The Russell 2000, I think, is like $3 trillion or something. Okay. Russell 2000, what do you call it? Market cap. Yeah, $3.19 trillion. Right, so, oh my God, that's crazy. The 2000 smallest American stocks are smaller than all the money in crypto. Wow. Okay, that is very interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. Wow. Crypto, look, this is why I say I'm very short-term bearish, guys. I'm very short-term bearish. Look at the technicals on the daily. This is all the money in crypto. Yeah. What do we see here? We see the RSI is just about to go below the yellow on the daily. On the 12 hours, it has gone below the yellow and is now in a downtrend, right? This is a downtrend. Is anybody going to argue with me that this is obviously the technicals can be invalidated, but technically speaking, the indication is what, guys? Down or up?
Down.
Down. Yes. Right. On the daily. So on the 12 hours. Okay. On the daily, it's like almost down. On the 12 hours, it's down for sure. On the 3 days, what is it on the 3 days, guys? Is it bullish or bearish on the 3 days? It's actually a little bit bullish because it's a 3-day time frame. Yeah. 3-day time frame means that one of these candles represents 3 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candlesticks, yeah, is 21 days. And I said, I expect we're going to go down between now and when? The 3rd of October. And that's only 13 days. So this is why the 3-day technicals are actually quite bullish. Are the weekly technicals bullish? Not as bullish as I'd like them to be, but pretty bullish, right? Here on the RSI, it's above. I would like this to flip to darker green bars, but it's fine. It takes a while for trends to form. So that's all the money in crypto. And this is all the money in crypto minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? On the daily, we're looking semi-bullish. On the 12-hour, we're looking bearish. But You know, if it's 13 days, that's 26 12-hour candlesticks, which is quite a bit of time, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. 21, 22, 26. Yeah, so that's like this amount of time. A lot can happen in this amount of time. Guess what can happen in this amount of time? This can happen in that amount of time. And then we send it. Am I absolutely raging bullish for Q4? Yeah. Yeah, I am. But it doesn't mean that I don't think Ethereum is going to test 4,094. It doesn't mean that. Right? If we get a flash crash, load the boat price for Ethereum is 3,351. Okay, if we get any kind of like super black swan event, which will be extremely short-lived, what I recommend everyone does is that they have a watch list and just have your sniper prices, right? Sniper price for Dogecoin is 21 cents. Sniper price for Solana is 174. Sniper price for Aerodrome is nobody wants to hear 74 cents. It's possible. $98 is good DCA. All right. Cool. That is my macro outtake. I want to wrap up in 15 minutes, but let me take any questions. Let me take any Q&As. Let's start with Toby because I do know you need to go soon because you're getting up at like 5 a.m. in the morning, right, Mr. Chef?
Yeah, I'm all good. I've got no questions for the moment. I'm just trying to take in some information on what's going on this week.
No problem. Would you like to give the people some non-financial advice on what Toby thinks is good? You want to do a non-financial advice show for the
I
people?
mean, me personally, as you said, until the end of the quarter, I'm just playing it safe, keeping an eye on things, seeing where things go, but just waiting for the start of Q4 really, and just seeing how things play out.
Have you got a meme coin chill for them?
It's always going to be Pengu, or if there was a riskier play, it would be Abster, which is like one, I think with Pengu sitting at 2.1 billion, Abster is severely undervalued, sitting at something like 25 mil right now. So I think once there's a onboarding of a lot of mainstream and retail into abstract chain, which will come in the coming months, then I can see that flying, especially with recent things with Binance this week. I think there will be a big push very soon for Abster and for abstract.
Yes, sir. If anybody wants to actually buy this asset, first of all, do your own research. Don't just buy Abster because we said. But you need to get on that abstract chain. How do you do that? Ask Grok, or I mean, you can just go to be fair. I'm not going to gatekeep. You go to abstract.xyz. Okay. Abstract chain is a very exciting Ethereum layer 2. Is it an Ethereum layer 2? I don't want to get that wrong. I think it's an Ethereum layer 2, but it's basically by Pudgy Penguins.
Yeah, I believe so.
Ecosystem. Yeah. If it's not Ethereum layer 2, it's like an AVAX thing where I remember when Salman corrected me. So AVAX is not an Ethereum layer 2. AVAX is some kind of Ethereum C chain.
I think you want to go.
It uses that kind of technology.
You want to go portal.abs.xyz.
Yeah, so you go to portal. Thank you very much, Toby. By the way, guys, Toby is my abstract. He's my abstract quant. So you can create an account with Gmail. And this and or you can log in with your wallet or private key. This is the only way to buy Abster at present, I think. I don't think it's available on centralized exchanges. However, I don't think you should buy. In fact, in my opinion, you should not buy this coin if you don't go to Abstract Chain. This is basically the biggest meme coin on Abstract Chain, and they have been developing since the chain's launch. You see, when you see price action like this in crypto, where it consolidates for an extended period of time, and then breaks highs, and then when it pulls back, it creates a floor where it never goes below. This is what you call price discovery and escape velocity type shit. This is one of me and Toby's big gems, and I would do my own research on it if I was you. I think this is basically a leveraged Pengu play. So if you believe in Pengu and abstract and that ecosystem, you may consider having this in the portfolio. Thank you very much for being so kind to show them that, Toby.
No problem, no problem.
All right, Caesar, it's been a while, my Birmingham brethren. Any questions from yourself?
No, not at the moment. I'm just trying to get back into it. I've been away for a while.
You know what? It's a good time to get back into it, and what I would do if I was you is that I would get a big watch list, right? And add a load of assets that you believe are going to do really well in the long term. And when you map those assets out, yeah, like pick your top meme coins on Solana, bro. Hengu, Bonk, you know what I mean? Your big ones that are at least $25 million market cap, yeah, not your absolute shitters. Your 25, 50 million market caps. Troll is a good one, Troll. Neat is a good one. In fact, I'm gonna put you on Neat, right? Not in education and employment.
What's
Alon,
meat
which
spelled
is
like? Like meat is in the meat, like the food, or meat is in meeting?
no, no. I'm typing it NEET. So
Oh,
there's
neat.
a guy
One
called
second.
Alon who is one of the founders of Solana. He says this is his favorite meme. I do believe today's
Yeah.
price is a good price. It seems to be following this consistent uptrend. Yeah. If you were to buy at today's price and could hold, I think that's quite a clean 2x. However, obviously it's a meme coin, it can still have downside. So I'm hoping that we actually get to these prices here. I don't know if you want a screenshot or whatever. The replay will be on YouTube, but these are like generational buys, right? Like if we get back down to this
What do you
floor
reckon that
here,
could
which
do?
is
How
like
many X's?
honestly, I don't want to over predict the future. I don't want to over predict the future, but all I'm saying, like, I like to trade within a range. So if we were to get down to this price, this would be, in my opinion, as far as meme coins and degeneracy goes, quite an easy 4x. Does that make sense? But there's a reason
Yeah,
why you have to be
no, I
patient
hear it.
and map out things in a range. So say that again.
Nah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Because look, the difference is from here to here, right? That's just over 2x in it, 100%. But if you bought at
Yeah.
this price here, you still need to accept that you can go down and take a 50% drawdown. But the difference between here, look, here to
Well, then you just
here
buy
is
back in.
2x. From here to here, yeah, of course. Here to here is a 4x. Does that make sense? That's the difference between buying at this, but between buying now and the first line. Do I think we're going to go down to this line? No. This line here, if we go to this line, this is where I would capitulate. This is like, if we start going from here closer to here, I'd be like, you know what? After about here, I'll probably pull out and be like, this is not working, bro. At some point, if I can, just because I know you personally as well, without giving away too much away on the stream, yeah, you need to have a target price of where you're going to buy and a target price of where you're going to exit. And exit also means on the way down. It's not buy the dip forever. Does that make sense? This is a good chart.
Yeah.
This is an uptrend. Does that make sense? Now, it makes sense we're taking this
No,
downtrend
100%.
because Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana is going down. Does that make sense? If BTC and ETH
Yeah.
and Sol are going down, then why should this meme coin with this little market cap hold up? But this is big enough to bet on, but small enough to make loads of money on. Does that make sense? Because it's still
Yeah, no, I hear it.
big enough with enough yeah, it's got enough culture behind it. So I recommend everyone looks into Neat. That's one of my favorite meme coins. Any questions from yourself? Caesar?
Yeah, oh no, I'm all good. I'm good. I'm just locking in.
Perfect. Appreciate you, man. All right, Rylan. I know you have your doubts. You can be wrong. I know you just want to FOMO in the market. With the phone call we had before. But how do you feel after today's episode?
Yeah, I
Or do you
mean,
still want to FOMO in?
no. After hearing what you've said and hearing what Toby said as well, like I get a better understanding of why we would be waiting first before putting any money back into the market. But I just wondered as well, when you was showing the sorry, where did I just go to? When you were showing some of the technicals or the indicators, and you was there saying that it might be bullish on like the 12-hour, but it's bearish when you look at it on a different time frame. To use that information to get an insight on whether you should put money in or not, whether the market's actually bearish or bullish, does all the information from those different time periods need to align, or can they show different things and still you can get an insight from it?
So, just to correct you, I said bearish on the 12-hour, but bullish on the 3-day. What that basically means is is it gives you obviously the technicals can be invalidated, right? And anything can happen in the world, but it gives you an indication to say this again, 12-hour bearish, 3-day bullish, right? This is actually a perfect setup. If I can say this again to you guys, on the technicals, if the technicals say 12-hour bearish and 3-day bullish, this is perfect. Because if the technicals play out, it means that you can wait a week to 3 weeks for the pullback, buy the dip, and expect that shit to rise. But if the technicals, as you said, were 12-hour bullish, but 3 days, 7 days bearish, you should only buy that asset if you intend to sell it very quickly after that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because you're only in the asset to trade it quickly. And that's risky. You shouldn't even put a lot of money in those plays. But can you understand how if it's short-term bearish but long-term bullish or medium to long-term bullish, you can put a lot of money in, assuming it pulls back. Now, sometimes it never pulls back, and that's sad. But this is why you should have multiple assets on your watch list. I know it's hard not to like have favors. I have favors. I've got meme coins that I like more than other meme coins because they make me laugh more. I have some stocks and some cryptos that I like more because of the founder. But try to be as neutral as possible and understand that if it doesn't pull back, something should pull back, right? There should always be something in the market that is bullish mid to long term that takes a pullback. They're the best assets to buy. You don't want to buy assets that are short-term bullish and mid to long-term bearish. That's not very, very clever, is it? It was very stressful managing those positions. But you can make good money on them short-term. But that's why before you buy and sell something, ask yourself, is this a short-term trade? Is this a medium-term swing or is this a long-term investment? I think the greatest edge is in the medium term, in my opinion, through my studies and experience. That's what I teach you guys, right, Rylan? Medium term. Not 2 year, 5 year, but not intraday. Weeks, months. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, man.
No worries, my brother. Salman, hope you've enjoyed this session. I look forward to our one-on-one next week. Any disagreements? Because I know you do your own studies, man. I like people disagreeing with me too. You know what I mean? Don't hold back on anything you disagree on.
Now, you know what? I've just got three things actually. Just a quick one on the one that you said where it starts off bearish on the 12-hour and then bullish on the 3-day. You said something about waiting. Did you say a week to 3 weeks normally to see if that plays out? To see if it goes bearish. So if it starts off bearish on the short term, you said a week to 3 weeks.
Because think about this, right? Yeah, 1 to 3 weeks. Because think about it like this, right? If we're talking crypto, which is open 7 days a week, a 12-hour candlestick is 14 candles. Does that make sense? In the stock market, that's open 8 to 12 hours a week, then actually no, because over 24/5. I think in the stock market it'll be like 10 candlesticks, but 2 weeks on a 3-day candlestick, or no, 3 weeks on a 3-day candlestick is only 7 candles. Does that make sense? So how can you form a part? You have to wait at least 7 candles for a 3-day candlestick trend to form out. So yeah, 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, it might not pull back, but the trend is if it's short-term bearish, you'd hope that'll follow through if it's bullish on the longer term. The other two thing was one I was just saying, have you got any sniper prices for AVAX? Because that's obviously jumped up quite a bit. And then did you mention something about heat maps? I'm not sure if I missed that part of the call.
Yes, I will answer the heat maps question and then AVAX. Is that your 2 questions? Yeah, heat maps and AVAX.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Let me answer these 2 questions and then we'll wrap up this webinar. Hope everyone has enjoyed. Appreciate you as well, Toby. Thank you for locking in as always. Okay, so as we can see, heat maps is basically where liquidation prices are. We can see here on the Solana heat map, it's towards the downside. Liquidations are at the downside. Again, towards the downside at 230. Bitcoin on the 3 months downside. Solana. Well, that's pretty heavy. I don't think we're going to go down there. But yeah, at least closer to 200, right? Bitcoin heat map on the 1 week down to 114. Bitcoin on the 3 months down to 108. Bitcoin on the 1 month, right? I don't know if we're going to go down to 99k, but basically momentum towards the downside. So that's what heat maps are. You can go to CoinAnk. You can go to CoinAnk liquidation heat maps. There are many liquidation heat map. Yeah, there are many heat map providers, but CoinAnk is a typical one. Heat maps are good to help you predict short to medium term direction. I wouldn't use them for long term. Short to medium term direction in line with technicals as another confluence. So my technicals point me down, and so do the heat maps. Finally, let's go to AVAX and then go to some sniper prices for AVAX. I think AVAX is a great asset. Okay, this is very strange. I would love to say AVAX is going to go down to $23.24, but that's quite hopeful. That $23.24 is a sniper price, but a good buy price is $28.26. 28, 26, I think, is a likely pullback. We were last here around mid-September, so it wouldn't be crazy to just end the quarter on a mid-September reset. Why? Because here's the what do you call it? The opening of the quarter would be July, right? So think from like an asset point of view. This is the start of the quarter, okay? 1st of July, August, July, August, September, closing the quarter in profit here, still very profitable, 59%, but pulling back to 28, 26, in my opinion, as an entry. DCA in anything in this range is fine, and I believe the sniper price is $23.24 if we get there. I hope that helps. Right, unless anyone's got a dying question, I'm gonna call it a night. It's been a long weekend. Any dying questions, guys, before I go?
No, nice one.
No problem. Thank you, Salman. Thank you, Rylan. Thank you, Caesar. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, share. See you in a bit, guys. Thank you.
Love. Yeah, bang on. Tell him.